After you initiate change, you be the change. You usher in the innovations of a brand new world, a new age, new days, new way. Welcome to Quanta D.
All right, welcome to another Quanta D interview with Ms. J here. Today, we have the privilege of covering a very important topic with a pretty impressive individual here to speak with us about it. The topic is in regards to natural mental health, something that seems to be incredibly overlooked. So we have the pleasure of having on the call today former chief librarian, or a medical librarian, actually, and author, multi-author, William Jiang. Hello, Will.
Hi, good afternoon there, Ms. J.
Good afternoon to you. As you were already made aware of, I didn't do much research on you, except for getting word from my company having to do with your newly published book. I believe you published last year, later in the year.
That is right.
Guide to Natural Mental Health. And so far, I mean, yeah, even though we haven't really, Googled you or anything, we try to leave that open. So this way you can teach us more about you and let us know what you would like to share with us in regards to natural mental health, which is very important. So please, by all means, multi-author as well on the topic in a variety of ways. We see on Amazon here. It's pretty amazing. So please let us know, for one, how all of this came about for you. We'd love to hear a bit of your story. And please let us know as well what your MLS stands for and your past experience certified for MLS.
Sure. So, again, my name is Will Jiang, MLS. MLS stands for Master of Library Science. So I'm one of the old school of librarians still. We look at books, journals, all that, electronic resources, and Medline especially for quality information about mental health, things of that nature. How did my guide to natural mental health come about? So basically, my story with mental health it began in my family. We have issues in the family that go back generations, it turns out. And so when mental health issues popped up in my life, I was kind of caught unprepared because it was kind of taboo to talk about. We're opening up more and more as a society about mental health issues, and it's probably a very good thing that we're doing that, because especially now, it turns out as of April 2016, suicide is at a 30-year high across the United States, and there's just so much pain out there that if I can do a little bit to educate and make it a little bit easier on somebody else, I would love to do that,
Yeah. Yes, and I'm sure, many appreciate it, whether they know it and understand it yet or not. Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. So
should I go into my little career a little bit, possibly?
Yes, please. Yeah, we need a little bit of your background. We got to take just a small, tiny look, and yeah, it is pretty impressive. So please let us know. What all of your great background entails. Okay,
cool. So I went to arguably New York City's most selective high school, Stuyvesant, back in the day. Then a very competitive college, and so I studied in library school with medical reference, and that brought me into a whole new realm of quality information that I was able to share. And as a medical librarian at Columbia Psychiatry, New York State Psychiatric Institution, I had the honor of working with former APA president Jeffrey Lieberman. He's quite a stellar and amazing. He humbles me, this man. He's quite an amazing researcher and all-around decent human being. I also worked with the current head of the Brain and Behavior Research Foundation, Dr. Jeffrey Borenstein, and quite a few other, big people in the field of mental health. So, so yeah, that's kind of where I am.
Okay. Yeah. How many books have you published regarding mental health and on mental health?
Oh, regarding mental health or books in general?
No. Regarding mental health.
Regarding mental health, I'm thinking about 8 in English,
Wow.
Spanish, and French.
Okay. So multilingual works as well. It's pretty amazing stuff. You're really trying to get this knowledge and information out to everyone. I mean, it's really incredible. Now, there is your latest work, Guide of Natural Mental Health, touches upon a variety of mental health issues, including some that, are a bit shocking. For me personally, I would like to start with digital addiction. I mean, in my readings having to do with holistic medicine, we do touch upon a bit of digital addiction, but not even the phrase. The phrase has never been there. This is the first time I'm coming across this term. So, yes, please give us a little on digital addiction, which is also spanning a variety and range of topics that you bring up, including internet gaming disorder. Please share with us what is going on with digital addiction as per your own definition, author. Please let us know what that means. What is digital addiction to author William Jiang?
So digital addiction to me is like the sum total of all the technology that is come out in the 21st century, things of that nature. So in the book, the most important book in psychiatry, also psychology, in terms of diagnosing mental disorders, is called the DSM, or Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, the 5th edition, right? So they had internet addiction in there, as well as 1 or 2 other sub categories of digital addiction. I actually coined the term myself. That's probably why you haven't run across it before.
It's a pretty amazing term, though. Please continue.
Sure. So, a lot of people are addicted to their cell phones, their smartphones, the video games, the e-commerce, the porn, the gambling, the list goes on. And all these things are encompass digital addiction. And it's quite common these days. You can talk to anybody on the street, and, like 1 out of 3 young ladies will keep their cell phone on next to their bed just so, in the middle of the night, if an important phone call comes in, they want to be there. So it actually disrupts their sleep to an extent. It's too commonplace, and I feel very strongly that we need classes about hygiene, like digital hygiene, and like what's it's very important. They've shown also that digital addiction, computer addiction, video game addiction, affects the white matter of the brain much like heroin does in terms of its damaging effects. So it's pretty serious.
Yes, it is pretty serious.
Yeah. And also, so in terms of digital addiction, in the United States, we have it pretty bad. But in like East Asia, like South Korea, China, it's a much bigger problem among the youth, especially. So like
China
they have
seem to be on a forefront for technology as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's completely understandable right away. Yeah. So Will, depression, bipolar disorder, anxiety, schizophrenia. My God. Mental health. Now, in which ways do you feel, along with all of your knowledge, research, many years experience and expertise, obviously, in all of this and mental disorders, what's your take on just overall general natural health, natural medicine having to do with alleviating, and I'm not even sure if this can be stated, but or if it's even medically possible to eradicate these, painstaking diseases of the mind and just overall well-being. What is something that you can let the world know to do to, prevent, and or alleviate symptoms of depression, bipolar disorder, anxiety, and schizophrenia?
Okay.
What can we do naturally to prevent these things, or even, hopefully heal ourselves from them? Because this is taking place a lot in society, whether we're medically diagnosed or not. I'm seeing it almost everywhere.
No, you're right. So I would basically say, I've been wanting to say this to an upper level government person for a while, or policymaker. So basically, I feel that if everybody took a little fish oil and multivitamin every day, a good multivitamin, that would do so much for the public health on a macro level. And that's just one basic thing everybody can do. It's very simple. Even if you're vegetarian, there's really no better source of omega-3 than omega-3 fish oil, even though it's derived of like meat, like fish. But that's really my one gem, my one pearl of knowledge I would like to pass on. And I would love if we could get a recommended daily allowance of omega-3 fish oil, because we would save probably hundreds of billions, if not trillions, in the next 10 years in terms of human suffering and medical costs and things of that nature. It's just so important. And, beyond that, I think politics, the polity needs to stand up for mental health disorders, people with mental health issues, because honestly, it's everybody almost. 1 in 4 people in America, and growing, the population is growing, has a diagnosed serious mental issue, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So the prevalence is huge, and depression is, according to the World Health Organization, going to be the #1 cause of premature death and disability in fewer than 5 years, right? So anything we could do to, make like the entire society more healthy would be good in terms of politics, right? So political action should be taken. So also economics. It basically, there's this phenomenon where McDonald's and really unhealthy foods usually gravitate towards the poorer neighborhoods, right? So we need to somehow break out of that economic mold and have quality, fresh, fruits and vegetables and, grains and meats in poorer neighborhoods as well as the richer neighborhoods. Economics needs to be behind the mental health movement.
I'm sorry to intervene, Will,
sure.
But there's another, my own personal issue has to do with these places in tourist areas as well. It's pretty high in tourist areas. I got a story having to do with India a long time ago that they were boycotting a KFC to be opened. And that was some time ago, I think maybe about 15, somewhere between 10 and 15 years ago. And if I remember correctly, it was Delhi, I believe. But there was this massive boycott and protest to not open it. And I mean, that worked for a long time, but lo and behold, now you go throughout India, you see a lot of fast food. The same KFCs that they boycotted and protested are open, as well as other fast food places. So I just wanted to point that out, that it seems to be expanded way beyond, impoverished areas of this country now.
I 100% agree. 100%. And I mean, it's economics once again, right? So it's less expensive to feed people, like, for example, Coca-Cola or, ammoniated beef at McDonald's or what have you, Frankenfoods. So there's a lot of technology behind it, inexpensive food, and they want to make the most money on the dollar, right, out of their investment. So they feed us this stuff that's not good for us, but makes our brains light up. Dopamine is released, and we feel a little bit better with the comfort food, the junk food, right? So it's very addictive and all that. So that's a whole different book that I'm working on actually right now.
Right, exactly.
So I don't want to get too much into that.
Yeah,
it does. It does. Okay. Yeah, it's nutrition.
Well, that's something we can look forward to then.
Yeah, thank you.
Definitely.
And then the political, economic, social, people should reach out to their neighbors. It used to be 50 years ago, you could reach out to your neighbor and, just hang out at their place, whatever. Now, in most major metropolitan areas, it's not really safe to do that or advisable.
No, it's not.
It's like, hey, what's up? How you doing? And they're like, who are you? Go away, or I'll shoot you, or, whatever, it's just not advisable.
People seem to be, much more anxious. I mean, I'm not that, up there in age. I'm in my 30s, but, I do remember a point in time in my childhood where it didn't matter which part of New York City it was. People were a lot more friendly. You saw more children in the street playing, a little more safely, So, people do seem to be on edge, and I have a very strong inkling, over 100% sure that it has a lot to do with what people eat. I have a saying myself that food affects your mood. So, in regards to that, getting a little back into anxiety and depression, all of these serious mental health disorders and natural medicine, is there anything else that you recommend going beyond food, nutrition, for the populace, having to do with helping to alleviate these symptoms or prevent them?
So, I mean, one of the things that I'll go back to is the fish oil with the multivitamin, in terms of nutraceuticals, as opposed to pharmaceuticals, right? I mean, I personally think that pharmaceuticals definitely also have a place for a lot of people who may need it as a stopgap measure, or maybe they'll need it for many years. However, why not let nature help with these things? And most people won't even need pharmaceuticals, I feel, if they just ate right and they knew the science behind the health. So the fish oil, the multivitamin, the 1 in 3 Americans is deficient in magnesium, so that's an important piece of the puzzle, because magnesium is essential in about 300 enzymatic pathways in the body. And my mom always tells me, well, you got to talk about myelination. And so it turns out that if people take fish oil with the magnesium, many cases of people, even in the most serious of the mental disorders, such as the schizophrenias, even these people can be, you can stop the progression of psychosis with nutrition. And don't take my word for it. Take Dr. Lieberman's word for it, the president of the American Psychiatric Association. He came out and said it last year. And I was like, thank God this man, took a stand like that, because he's not getting paid for that, So
the goodness gets paid and works, It's worth it to just do good work. And this is why we wanted to have you on today. And thank you so much. We really appreciate you being here and giving us, really great bits and pieces that can easily help the world throughout a lifetime. So we would like for you to let everyone know how to get your your great new work, a guide to natural mental health.
Okay.
And how to get in touch with you as well.
So you can get in touch with me with my my author blog. It's mentalhealthbooks.net, and it's all spelled out, mentalhealthbooks.net. I have a link to my bookstore there where I've published 24 books, among which is Guide to Natural Mental Health, one of my bestsellers. It's quite a popular book. And I just hope to be of help, and thank you for having me on your show. I enjoyed myself thoroughly, and
well, we'd love to have you back. Okay, Will. There's a lot more that we'd like to speak about regarding this subject, and especially after we read your book as well. We're going to place an order and get into that, and we'd love to have you back on soon. So thank you. I really appreciate everything today and learning about you and your great message to the world. Any last thoughts, any last messages that you'd like to share with everyone?
Last thought and message right now is getting a little bit loud where I am right now, so I just want to keep it short.
Okay.
Try to keep looking at the glass half full. Hang in there. If you need help, seek it. It's actually courageous. And if you know somebody who needs help, don't shy away from being that shoulder, that support. And but take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of others. So
that's true. That is true. Yeah. All right. Thank you for being such a great human being, Will Jiang. All right, that wraps up the interview. Quanta D with author and expert, the guide to natural mental health. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, not yet. Not yet.
Thanks for listening to Top Agent Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading real estate industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at topagentradio.com today.